What's going on, everybody? It's your host, Dr. Splash, and I've seen throughout several communities on YouTube, this style of video has really been trending, the different levels of certain topics. And I think, why don't we bring that to comic books? Why don't we bring that to fiction? So today we're going to do 7 levels of Batman villains. I do believe there is different levels to the rogue gallery of Batman. And if you have a question about where a certain villain would stack up that is not mentioned in the video, or if you disagree with some of the placements, get in the comment section, make yourself heard. And if you like this style of video and want to see it become consistent on the channel, 500 plus likes would be absolutely amazing. But with that out of the way, I hope you guys enjoy. And without further ado, let's begin. Now, first up, we have level 1. This is what we would call the Gotham Goons and the Gremlins. These are the underlings of the Gotham Society. They ultimately do not have any crazy sort of name or any longevity in terms of name value. However, they are scrappy. They could catch you slipping and put you on a t-shirt. But at the same time, we have to acknowledge the unnamed hooligans of the Gotham underworld. If you are having a bad day, perhaps even you could catch them slipping. Ultimately, there's nothing special about this group. They just have to get active, and they're trying to make names for themselves, but ultimately they don't really go anywhere. They don't really become anything worth of note in the Gotham scene. So because of that, level 1 is clearly defined by these no-name thugs. Now, let's move on to level 2. Level 2 is what I would call the named but forgotten. These are the low-level named villains of the Gotham underworld that are at one time or another. They may have gotten a little side quest. They may have gotten a side arc, but ultimately they were nothing special, slash they are nothing special in the grand scheme of the Gotham Dark Knight story. For reference, Onomatopoeia. He is someone that might be cool to the 4 Onomatopoeia fans out there, but ultimately not a big character, not a bunch of stories, not that prominent, and most importantly, not that dangerous. Another character like that would be Firefly. Has had a couple of side stories, but ultimately is defined as a low-level named character in Gotham. Can be formidable to the everyday man, but besides that, nothing too scary. Again, this is someone above level 1. They are above the no-namers that never became anything, but they didn't become much at the same time, thus condemning them to level 2, named but forgotten. Moving on, we have level 3. This is the tier I would call the problematic jobbers. This tier consists of the named villains that can be annoying outs or days for Batman, but typically are more nuisance than they are threat. This is someone that, if Batman is not taking his job or his day very seriously, it could become a very long day dealing with them. For the everyday man, they're probably cooked if they were to run into these characters, and they most likely serve under them more often than not. Good examples of characters that would fall in this tier list would be the likes of Riddler and Cobblepot. They are not someone that we would consider to be Batman level or absolute threats to Batman and the Bat family, but we absolutely do acknowledge that they can give these characters a long day, can be very problematic, but more often than not, they side on the realm of annoying more so than dangerous. I would also include the likes of Two-Face in the mix for this tier. Next up, we have level 4, which I would call threats to the family. Now, this is a tier of formidable villains that with proper writing in the proper circumstances, they can be what we would consider a threat to the Bat family and are viable to take down members. Now, these are characters straight up, when you were to bring up their names, more often than not, people would associate them with being capable of taking down members of the Bat family and being dangerous to members of the Bat family, if not being superior to all of them or a threat to the likes of Batman. Now, for the villains in the Rogue Gallery that we would affiliate with this tier the most, I would consider the likes of Bane or Ra's al Ghul to be in this tier. Keep in mind, Ra's has gotten the drop on the likes of Bane, but even still, Bane has had several moments where he has easily been Bat member family level. So, with that in mind, both are around this tier. Again, if they pop up, you think, okay, they could be a threat to Batman, definitely threats to the Bat family. Sometimes they can be jobbers, sometimes they can not exactly live up to that Batman tier, but they are incredibly dangerous. That is what I would associate with level 4 or threats to the family. Next up, we have level 5, consistently a Batman tier problem. These are the constants of the Batman flow that routinely threaten Batman, match him, take down members of the Bat family, or are considered Batman level problems. Now, I think this is an interesting tier because it is a tier that is defined by how ultimately dangerous you are as a character and what you are capable of, but it's not necessarily handcuffed to the physicality aspect of what makes a character dangerous, right? Like you can be very physically capable, but that might not be the only reason you are here. You could be here because of your intellect and what you're capable of hatching plan-wise and schemes. Good examples of a level 5 Batman villain is the likes of Joker and Deathstroke. As you know, recently, Joker was stated to be just as dangerous to the world as the likes of Batman is if he chooses to be. He's also manipulated very high-level villains, level 4 villains like Bane to do his bidding. He's just incredibly dangerous and incredibly consistent when it comes to being threats to Batman and the Bat family. Has destroyed them several times. Literally has killed one as well. So very consistent on that end. Deathstroke consistently beats them as well. That's not a very hard argument to make, but it is not the highest level of the Batman Rogue Gallery. Next up, we have level 6. This is what we will call plot armor. These are the villains that when Batman comes across them and deals with them, whenever he gets wins against them or even does well against them, he is immediately accused of having plot armor. That being the plot bends for the sake of Batman surviving certain events. Now, this is an interesting tier because, again, we've already talked about incredibly impressive villains, but that wasn't the extent of what Batman deals with. Some of the villains I would include for this level, or level 6, would be the likes of Etrigan the Demon and Poison Ivy. One being an extra-dimensional being, one from Hell that literally is not only from Hell, which is beyond time and space, but is a member of Hell with status, which is why he is a rhyming demon, which means he has destroyed outer-versal demons to get that respect. And then there's another being like Poison Ivy, who is connected to the extra-dimensional green, a concept that extends beyond time, space, and dimension. When you look at both these high-end concepts and the fact that these are beings Batman might deal with on a Thursday, absurd. But again, incredibly high-level shit. Completely worthy of level 6, but it is not the highest of all of his Batman villains. We proceed to the final level. Smash the like button if you haven't already. This is level 7. Batman level plot armor. There is plot armor. We see it across fiction all the time. Stuff we would consider qualifies for plot armor. And then there is plot armor so absurd, we just chalk it up to that is Batman level plot armor, okay? Like only Batman could clutch some bullshit like this. These are characters that honestly, we don't have much explanation within reason for why we're surviving battles with them, why we're even beefing with them. It's just crazy shit, right? They're incredibly OD. They are just in a league of their own. If you want a more casual term, I guess we would call it, I consider these beings Justice League plus tier threats very consistently. These beings, these villains, would include characters like Failsafe and Darkseid, who regularly beat the shit out of the Justice League, and characters like Failsafe really haven't ever really lost in a true fight. So their true extent we kind of don't necessarily have a true read on. So ultimately, it can get a lot more extreme than we already have evidence for. But anyways, guys, let me know what you think of the different levels in the comment section down below. I think there is a lot of nuance to the Batman Rogue Gallery, and I think it definitely is worthy of being broken up into levels, these 7 in particular. Let me know if you agree, disagree, who would you add, and where would you put them in the levels? Would you put them at 1, 2, 3, so on and so forth? Let me know in the comment section. Let's get the conversation going. And if you like this style of video, let me know which one I should do next. But anyways, it's been your host, Dr. Splash. And remember, it's Yancey Street, bitches.